So first off, I thought I would share with you a bit about my backstory, as not all of you know me, so you don't know sort of where I've come from or anything like that. So I thought I'd share quickly who I am, how I've come to be who I am, and then we will jump into all of these fabulous guest speakers. So I was born in England. If you think my accent's a bit strange, I moved to New Zealand when I was 11. In there. Typical Mumpreneur life. I'm not sure. Go have a look. I think it's in the lounge. So I moved to New Zealand with my family when I was 11. So my accent's a bit hybrid. Depends on what I say and who I speak to as to. I've had lots of people say, "Are you from Australia?" And I'm like, no, not even close. So it's a mix of a bit of a Brummie accent and a bit of a Kiwi accent, depending on what I say. And we've been back in the UK now for just over 4.5 years. So I might be picking up my English a bit stronger again now. But so I grew up in just a normal family life. I don't know, ask Daddy. Find it. In a normal family life, as in my younger childhood, I grew up loving horses. We had our own horses. I absolutely loved my friends. I loved going to school. And then when I was 9, I lost my mum, and then it was not long after that, which is when we moved to New Zealand, and there was that massive shift in life, and I had to adjust to a completely new lifestyle, for one, because obviously, as I'm sure you've all heard, New Zealand is so much more laid back. I obviously had to make new friends, start a new school, and just basically completely start over, and you're completely the other side of the world from all of the family and friends that you knew. So it was a massive shift, but I feel I adjusted to it pretty well. And so I completed my schooling in New Zealand and then moved on to starting my career and starting my extra study. So I started my career in administration and logistics and export. And alongside that, I was studying as well part-time. So I started with business administration studies, and then I followed that with a diploma in business. And so just before this, I met my now husband, who is a Kiwi, and obviously we started our lives together. And then in my final year of studying for my diploma, I fell pregnant with our little Lil that's just been popping her head in. So I wanted to make sure I finished my diploma before I had her, so that I wasn't having to try and juggle too many things at once. So I did that, finished literally a few months before I had her, and then started into the world of motherhood, which obviously is such a massive shift in life for everyone in all different ways. But it was I'm just waiting for it to start talking in the background. It was amazing, and I will be completely honest, I had a very enjoyable pregnancy. I had an enjoyable birth, to be fair. It was painful, I'm not going to lie, but it was a very enjoyable birth, and there wasn't any struggles. And then the start of motherhood was great. It took a while, obviously, to adjust to that new lifestyle, having another little person to look after. But I feel it did go relatively smoothly compared to, I know some people really struggle, and everyone has their own journey. And then we decided after Lily was born, why not go back to she was born in New Zealand, by the way, so why not go back to England for a while? We're like, oh yeah, I thought I'd been wanting to do it for a while, but my husband was not keen. And then once we had her, he was like, oh, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's go, let's get you a visa, book those flights. So that's what we did. And then when Lily was 7.5 months old, we moved back to England to my family, and it was a journey, and we only planned on coming for a year. Now, as I said, just over 4.5 years later, we're still here, still will be for at least a little while longer. We have no set plans, to be fair. We're just flowing with it, going where life takes us, which I think is all part of the fun. And then, so when we moved back here, I had to kind of start again with my career, figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go back to work full time. I knew I didn't want to miss out on her childhood. So I went back to work part time after a little while. But I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted my own business. I just had no idea what that would be or where to even start with it. And then at the start of 2020, I decided, right, this is going to be a year of growth. This is going to be the year of change. Didn't know how that was going to happen, but I just decided, right, my word for this year is growth. And so I jumped into a 6-week mindset course, and that is where the original business idea for LJ, your virtual PA, was born. And I started to roll with it, and then COVID hit, threw me a bit, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? How am I even meant to get a business off the ground when we're all stuck in lockdown? But we made it work. We carried on. We met the beautiful Jess and Rachel, and which completely changed my life, by the way. And then we have just grown. I've taken steps into coaching, which the thought of that initially scared me. The investment, like, it wasn't something I was used to doing, investing in myself. So it was a big change, but I knew it was something I needed to do. And so I launched into the coaching and really elevating every area of my life. And I truly would not be where I am today if that wasn't the case. And so it's all led to, I still have LJ Virtual PA, which is growing nicely, and I'm very happy with where that is. But I had this inspired thought just completely randomly on the way to work a couple of months ago. It would have been end of June, early July, for the Mumpreneur Diaries. But at the time, didn't have a clue what it was. I just had a random thought, and I thought, I actually voice noted Jess before I went into work and was like, I've had this idea, sort of reeled it off to her to get a bit of feedback and see what her thoughts were. And I was just like, and then after the great feedback from her, I was like, right, we'll just roll with it. So I set a launch date and just literally ran with it, and have been expanding on that ever since. And here we are today.